Good morning on this Friday, the 24th of April. Thank you for joining us again. We're just over a month into this lockdown phase through the pandemic, and it's been really good. I know some of you have been with us each morning, others have joined in from time to time or more recently, and we're reading chronologically through the Psalms. We started where we did at the beginning of the year. You've joined us, as it were, partway through, and we come this morning to Psalm 114, and this is the second in a group of psalms that were read at the yearly Passover. So they're celebrating the exodus of God's people, and this psalm has got an energetic delight and a pride in the mighty deliverance that God brings. If it were a movie, you're going to have to imagine that there'd be a very stirring sort of musical soundtrack behind it. And it's not just celebrating the God who has delivered in the past, it is worshipping the God who delivers, past, present and future. And it obviously points us towards the deliverance that God would bring in Jesus above all. So we're going to read Psalm 114.
When Israel came out of Egypt, Jacob from a people of foreign tongue, Judah became God's sanctuary, Israel his dominion. The sea looked and fled, the Jordan turned back, the mountains leaped like rams, the hills like lambs.
Why was it, sea, that you fled? Why, Jordan, did you turn back? Why, mountains, did you leap like rams, you hills like lambs? Tremble, earth, at the presence of the Lord, at the presence of the God of Jacob, who turned the rock into a pool, the hard rock into springs of water.
That's such a wonderful psalm, and I love verses 7 and 8. It just speaks of this awesome God where man trembles at his presence. And for the Israelites, when they were in a desert place, he turned that rock into a pool and the hard rock into springs of water. And they were in a very unyielding place, a dry land. But God showed such deep care and for their need, he gave them that refreshment. He provided that refreshment in that dry place.
You got that same sort of contrast as yesterday's psalm, don't you?
Yes.
With the awesome God and yet his intimate care for the needs of his people.
And when I read that, I just felt it reflected so well what we might be feeling at the moment, and perhaps we're feeling in a desert place, perhaps due to fear or loneliness or grief, but just so strongly that God meets us there wherever we are, and he will meet us there, and he will bring refreshment out of that hard rock, that hard place we find ourselves, and those springs of water. And for now it might look bleak, but such a hard place. But in God's good timing, he will bring us into that place of refreshing. But for now it's
hard, but we continue to worship a God who delivers.
Yes.
And that's what this psalm gives us the opportunity to remember. And it brought to mind for me some verses from 2 Corinthians chapter 1 in the New Testament, where Paul speaks about knowing God's presence with him in a very difficult time, and knowing that he would be the God of deliverance, past, present and future. So I just thought I'd read those verses and then we'd turn to pray this morning. So it's 2 Corinthians chapter 1, I'm reading from verse 9. Paul says, "We were under great pressure, far beyond our ability to endure, so that we despaired of life itself. Indeed, we felt we'd received the sentence of death. But this had happened, that we might not rely on ourselves, but on God, who raises the dead. He has delivered us from such a deadly peril, and he will deliver us again. On him we have set our hope, that he will continue to deliver us, as you help us by your prayers." And I thought that last verse sort of kind of captures what we're doing, many of us in different ways at this time, setting our hope on God, crying out to him, and Paul recognizing the help that he received above all through the prayers of others. So continue to share with us your prayer needs, and we'll pray for you and thank you for for praying for us and for all those in need, particularly at this time.
Let's pray. Thank you, Heavenly Father, that we can set our hope on you. Thank you that your promises are true and you are faithful. Thank you that whatever situation we're finding ourselves today, a hard place, thank you, Lord, that you will bring us to a place of refreshing. Again, Lord, thank you for your love. Thank you that we can seek you and you are with us today. Thank you, Heavenly Father. Amen.
Amen. So thank you for joining us again this morning. We're going to be continuing this series of Psalms through next week again. So we're going to extend it a little bit longer. We're also going to have a little bit of a bumper, a special edition on May Day, which is a week today, next Friday. So don't miss that one on May Day morning in a week's time. But whatever you're doing today, may God bless you.